Hi guys, it's Mama Sa from Mama Sa Stories again, and I have another beautiful book about an Australian legend from the native Australian people. Here we go. It's called The Frog Who Wouldn't Laugh. I'm going to read you the inside because I think it's really important, and I did read it last time, but you may not have seen that book. So it says in the foreword's beautiful. It's done on black, so the colours really stand out. With the Aboriginal style of painting around the sides. It goes, "These wonderful legends of the native Australians have been adapted to be read and understood by children. Young ones too can gain an insight into the rich and complex culture that existed for tens of thousands of years before the Europeans landed. These stories are not intended to be exact replicas of the original tales, but attempt to convey the narrative in a manner to which children can relate." Isn't that a fantastic idea? I just love that. And I'm going to see if I can track down the other stories because there's a few in this series and I would love to read them to you. Anyway, settle down. Are you in your Jim Jams? Have you cleaned your teeth? Do I sound like a broken record? Have you drank your water? Have you had your cuddles? Because I wish I could cuddle you through the lens. And here is this lovely legend written long, long ago when the stars in the sky were brightly lit because there was no electricity in the world. Imagine that. Tiddalik was a giant frog. He was not just big, he was enormous. Remember we talked about the word enormous? It means really, really, really big. He was the largest frog ever known. His bulging eyes looked out over the treetops. He was that enormous. Even over some of the low-lying clouds. Tiddalik was as big as a mountain. And there is Tiddalik. I hope I'm saying it right. Please forgive me if I'm not. Did I tell you who this book was by? Oh, I'm so sorry. It's by Celia Egan and Elizabeth Alp. Silly Mama Sa. One morning, Tiddalik woke up feeling thirsty. In fact, he was not just thirsty, he was extremely, terribly, gigantically thirsty. He drank a puddle. Then he drank a billabong. Remember we said billabongs are like a little pool of water? Then a lake. Then a river. And oh dear, Tiddalik drank up all the fresh water in the whole world. There he is drinking up a river. Or maybe he's drinking a lake. What a naughty frog. You can't live without water on this planet. If that frog drank it all up, what would we be drinking now? Someone must have sorted this out. Let's see who. There was nothing left for the other creatures to drink, and no water for the trees or the plants or the grasses or the flowers. All the animals and plants started dying. Oh, that's not good. If they did not get some water soon, Tiddalik would be the only creature that would survive. And there are all the animals looking very sad and sorry and thirsty, and all the trees are looking thirsty because they're not bright green. Not that Australian bush is really bright green, but it's usually a bit greener than that. Look how sad that kangaroo's face is. Oh, it's so sad. Naughty, naughty froggy. Tiddalik, please open your mouth and let out the water for us, they begged. But Tiddalik, swollen up with water, just sat there with his mouth shut and did not even open it to reply. How rude! did not know what to do. They could think of no way to make the great big frog let out the water they needed so desperately, until a wise old wombat said, "If we could just make him laugh, Tiddalik would have to open his mouth." There's the wise old wombat telling the other animals his fantastic idea to try and get all that water back. Wouldn't that be great? So all the animals tried to make Tiddalik laugh. Wouldn't take much to make me laugh, but anyway, this frog's apparently very grumpy. The kangaroos jumped over the emu. The lizard waddled around on his hind legs with his stomach sticking out. Sounds like me. And the kookaburras told his funniest stories. You know, how can you not laugh when you hear a kookaburra laugh, really? Seriously. Which was so funny that all the other animals rolled around laughing. I bet you would too. The lyrebird. Do you know what a lyrebird is? It's a bird that can mimic any sound. It can pretend it's a train engine, or it can pretend it's a parrot. Maybe if it could even pretend it was you. It's called a lyrebird. The lyrebird even tickled Tiddalik with a feather, but it was no use. The great big frog just sat there staring. He didn't even smile. It's no use. They're the other animals. Nothing will make him laugh. How greedy and selfish. Just then, Eel began to dance. He started with slow, dignified movements, but got faster and faster and faster, till he was wiggling and twisting himself into the funniest and strangest knots, tying himself into strangest shapes, tying himself into all sorts of knots. And there's that eel doing his wiggle dance. Can you do a wiggle dance? I bet you could. Maybe you should do one right now. See if you can wiggle like an eel. Do you like my wiggle earrings? I just got them. They're my favourite. Oh, that looks like fun. The kangaroo's laughing, and so's the wombat, the lyrebird, the emu. Even the goanna lizard's having a fantastic time. Did you see how much they were laughing? Still got that ring light because my other lights still haven't come yet, sorry. I went to photograph the spiders the other day for the kids, but they'd all gone away for the winter. Wait till spring. And Tiddalik began to shake. He shook harder and harder, as if a great big laugh was beginning somewhere in his gigantic tummy. It rumbled up, and all at once, Tiddalik's mouth opened and a huge laugh roared out. And that's him getting ready to laugh. He's starting to look happier. He's starting to grin. Thank God for Eel, hey? Thank goodness. With that, all the water he had drunk gushed out like a fountain and flowed away to fill up the lakes and swamps, the rivers and the billabongs. The animals danced for joy and congratulated the clever eel for being the only one who could make Tiddalik laugh. How fantastic is that? What a book. And there is Tiddalik, being a grumpy old frog, but relaxed now that he's spewed up all the water. Had a very good laugh. Doesn't having a really good laugh make you feel good inside? I know it makes me feel good, but I wouldn't want someone to steal all the water on the planet. That would not be a good idea. But it's an old legend, so I think we're fairly safe from gigantic frogs at this time. Who knows? Let's hope. So off you go to sleep, and Mama Sa is sending you all her love and hugs and kisses, and dream of fairies, or if you're not into fairies, you could dream of monster trucks, or you could dream of horses, or cubby houses. There's so many things you can dream and make come true with your dreams. Good night, my beautiful darlings. Love you. Mama Sa.